Welcome to the third of our in-season training modules. This one's going to focus on foul reporting and switches for both 2 and 3 official crews. So the outline for this module, we'll start first with reporting, talking about the reporting area and the mechanics of reporting, and then we'll get into the foul switches for both 2 and 3-person crews. We'll start with the foul reporting area. As you can see here, highlighted in orange, the reporting area is between the tips of the circle at the top of each key. It extends halfway toward the table on both sides of the floor. So that's generally the area we want to be in when we're reporting fouls. The only real exception to that is in the 3-person crew. If trail or center call a foul, and we're going to go the other way and not shoot free throws, we don't need necessarily to get to the reporting area, but we still need to clear our players. For every other foul, we should do our best to get to the foul reporting area before we start our report. So let's first talk about the mechanics of foul reporting. First thing we want to make sure we do is we want to make sure we come to a stop before we report. We want to be set. We don't want to walk through the table. This helps us give a little bit more confidence to our calls. And let's remember that we want to make sure that we look and project confidence at all times. When we start talking about order of reporting, remember, if we have an and one play and the basket counts, that's the first thing we want to say. Score the basket. Then we want to come with the player's jersey color and number. White, 13. Obviously, we want to stick with one-hand mechanics, but many intramural players have jerseys with numbers with digits bigger than 5. If that's the case, as evidenced in the picture, use 2 hands. We want to call type of foul, blocking, charging, player control, etc. And then we want to make it very clear what comes next, whether that's free throws or a throw-in. So I might say something like, score the basket, white 21, hold, 1 shot. Just like that. That's all we need to make sure we communicate effectively. A few general do's and don'ts of reporting. Remember, we do want to try to use the reporting area. I'd mentioned unless we're going along without free throws. Make sure we're loud and clear. Use the TV box. We're given numbers and things like that. TV box is kind of around the head, above the shoulder, so the number is very clearly displayed to the scorer. And we want to make sure we're using our authorized signals. Things we don't want to do, again, we don't want to walk through the table, no flybys. We also don't want to come too close to the table. The closer we come and feel like we're giving the scorer, like whispering the foul information, doesn't help us project confidence. We also don't want to say too much. Your report should be simple, just blue, 31, hold, 2 shots. That's all we want. We don't need a lot of extra verbiage like we got or with the, any of that kind of stuff. Cut that out. And we also don't want to speak too quietly. Again, when we talk about being confident, let's make sure that we do our best to do that. So now we've talked a little bit about the general mechanics of foul reporting. Let's get into switches. Our first focus, as I stated previously, is going to be on 2-person. So our first foul switch will be staying in the front court without shooting free throws. In this case, it's very simple. The calling official will trade places with their partner every single time. So if you were the lead, you become the trail. If you were the trail, you become the lead. So here, the lead calls a foul, and the throw-in is going to be in the lead's area. So the lead posts the foul, goes out to the reporting area, reports the foul. Trail slides down and becomes new lead to administer the throw-in. And old lead, after reporting, goes and gets in position as new trail. Again, without free throws, simple switch of positions. Here, the trail calls a foul, and the throw-in is going to be opposite the table. The trail is going to go to report the foul. Lead is going to come down to trail to administer the throw-in. Old trail is going to go down and become the new lead. So now let's talk about plays where we stay in the front court and we do shoot free throws. Remember, the philosophy here in 2-person is if you call a shooting foul, you will become tableside trail and your partner will become lead and administer all the free throws. And lead on free throws for 2-person, as we learned from previous modules, goes out opposite the table. So here, tableside lead calls a foul, goes and reports the foul. Old trail now comes down to become new lead to administer the free throws. And old lead, once they complete the report, slides in and becomes new trail. In this play, trail opposite calls the foul. It's a shooting foul. Trail just goes and reports. Lead at position adjusts to administer the free throws, and then trail slides over to trail on the table side to complete the free throws. On this play, table side trail calls a foul with shots. In this case, no real switch. Lead's going to slide down to administer the free throws. Trail's going to go report the foul and then return to tableside trail, and we'll proceed as normal from there. In two-person, when we go to the other end of the floor, remember we need to switch based upon what our position would have been had we stayed in the front court. So we're going to switch on every foul. So on this play, the lead calls a foul where we're not going to shoot free throws to the other end, potentially like a player control foul or something like that. Then the lead is going to go report the foul. And since lead would have been trail when we positioned down the other end of the field, they now become new lead at the other end of the floor. And old trail comes to take the throw in and it becomes new trail opposite the table in this case. In this play, tableside trail calls a foul where we go the other way with no shots. And this feels like no switch for trail, but a big switch for lead. In this case, the trail is going to go report and then come back and become tableside trail again. And lead's going to go lead to lead all the way down the floor to be in position for the next play. When we go to the other end and we shoot free throws, we do exactly the same thing we would do when we're staying in the front court with free throws. Calling official becomes tableside trail, other official becomes lead and goes opposite after we administer free throws. So here, trail calls a foul, we're going to shoot free throws to the other end, goes and reports and stays at tableside trail, and then lead goes lead to administer the free throws. On this play, the lead calls the foul. We are going to shoot at the other end. So the lead goes and reports the foul, goes to tableside trail, and then old trail becomes new lead to administer the free throws. So that was a quick summary of two-person foul switches. Now let's switch our focus to three-person switches. So our first of our four types of switches we're going to talk about is staying in the front court with no free throws. For these types of fouls, the calling official is always going to go tableside and will either be the center or the trail, depending upon where the throw-in is going to come. So in this play, the center calls the foul. We're going to have a baseline throw-in. The center is going to go report. Lead's going to position adjust and come over to get ready to administer this throw-in on the baseline. Trail is the official that center is going to switch with, but trail still becomes trail at the other side of the floor, and old center becomes new center on the table side. Again, without free throws, in this play, tableside lead calls the foul. So tableside lead is going to come out and report the foul and switch with tableside trail. So tableside old trail becomes new lead to administer the throw-in. Old lead, when they finish reporting, goes to trail. Center makes no move. In this play, lead opposite calls the foul with a throw-in on the opposite side. So lead and center are the officials that are going to be involved in this switch. Lead's going to go report. Old center is going to become new lead to administer the throw-in. Old lead's going to go over and become new center. So now let's shift our focus to staying in the front court with free throws. Just like in two-person, if you call a foul and we're going to shoot free throws, you become tableside trail, and everybody else will adjust position based on that. The biggest difference is that lead and trail for free throws for three-person are both tableside. So in this play, center calls a shooting foul, center goes to report, ends up switching with tableside trail, old trail becomes new center for free throws, and then the center, when they're completing with their report, goes and becomes new tableside trail. In this play, it's very simple. Tableside trail calls the foul, goes to report the foul, and then returns to tableside trail. No need for a multiple official switch because, again, the calling official on a free throw situation always becomes tableside trail. In this play, we have lead opposite call a shooting foul. So lead opposite goes and reports and ends up switching with the center on the table side, who's going to become the new lead to administer the free throws. This means that old trail steps down and becomes new center opposite to administer the free throws. And then when the lead is finished reporting, they become new tableside trail. So now let's talk about going to the other end of the floor without shooting free throws. This is a little different if you're the trail or the center and you call it versus if you're the lead and you call it. And remember, it's different according to the federation mechanics than it is here in Ohio. If you're working any high school games in Ohio, obviously do what Ohio wants you to do. But we go straight by federation. So in this play, opposite side trail calls a foul. We're going to the other end. All we're going to do is bump and run and slide down the floor. So trail's going to step out and report. Old lead comes over to administer the new throw-in as new trail, because remember, trail administers all throw-ins in the backcourt. That pushes old trail to new lead, and then center just goes from center to center. In this play, center opposite calls that foul, with the throw-in going to be opposite the table. So the first thing we do is send center to report. Remember, they don't have to go all the way to the reporting area. They just have to be clear of players and eye contact with the scorer. But that forces lead to come across the lane to become new trail. Old trail goes from old trail to new center, and then the old center, when they're completing with their report, goes down and becomes a new lead. So here are the examples of things that are different in Ohio versus the Federation. We're, like I said, in advance of tournaments and things, we're going to stick to Federation mechanics. So in these plays, if the old lead calls this foul, they're going to switch with the tableside official. So in this play, lead calls the foul, throw in on the baseline, they go report, they'll switch with tableside trail, who becomes the new trail to administer this throw-in going the length of the floor. Center just goes from center to center, and then old lead becomes new lead at the other end of the floor. In this play, similar to the last play, lead opposite calls this foul. They're going to switch with tableside center, so old center becomes new trail to administer the throw-in. That causes old trail to become new lead at the other end of the floor and causes the lead that called the foul to become center at the other end of the floor. So remember, this is if we go to the other end of the floor but don't shoot free throws. So now we're going to focus on going to the other end of the floor and we're shooting free throws. And just like for two-person and three-person, if we're staying in the front court, if you call the shooting foul, you become tableside trail. The big difference here is that of the other two officials that are non-calling, the official closest to the baseline we're going to go shoot free throws at becomes the new lead, and the other official becomes the center. So in this play, when opposite side lead calls a shooting foul, they're going to go report, and we know that they're going to end up at tableside trail. Of the two officials left, old trail is closer to the baseline, so they're going to go become new lead. And then center is just going to go from center to center, but they are going to cross the floor because they have to be opposite side center for free throws. In this play, opposite side trail calls the foul. They're going to go report. But of the officials left, tableside center is closer to the baseline that we're going to shoot free throws at. So center to lead, old lead becomes new center, and then after reporting the foul, trail goes to tableside trail. Our final example here is a tableside lead calls this foul that causes us to go shoot at the other end. They go report. Trail is closer to the baseline, so old trail becomes new lead. Center just slides down the floor to center, and then old lead becomes new trail after reporting. Remember, if we shoot free throws, either in two-person or in three-person, and you're the calling official, you are tableside trail. Period. All right, guys, you're doing a great job this season. Please keep it up. Keep working hard. Nice job.